you doing? Welcome back. My name is Rick. This is WindersRanger. When I did the unboxing video for the Canon 80D and the Canon lens, I said that I would do a video talking about my video equipment, things that I use, things that I found useful, stuff that I've transitioned away from. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to try to keep this as short and condensed as possible, and then as we go forward I may do other videos that link back to this one. And this is kind of piggybacking on the video with the Canon 80D because that's what we're filming on now, we're filming with. Well, let me start out with what basically got me started in videography was really the MacBook Pro. I bought that a few years ago, and that had the iMovie program on it. And with the iPhone, you know, you can take video with iPhones pretty easy nowadays. And it's just a matter of uploading that video to the computer and away you go with the editing software. And it's good. iMovie is a decent program, but there's some drawbacks. There's things that kind of back you into a corner that you can't advance past. It's a cookie cutter program that only allows you to do so much. Not too awful long ago I transitioned from that to Final Cut Pro. I've heard good things and bad things about Final Cut Pro. There's people out there that use the Adobe program. I've never tried that. I wouldn't mind giving it a try, but I'm still figuring out Final Cut Pro, so I don't want to mix and match too much until I master one. Then I'll maybe transition to another and try that. Final Cut Pro has allowed me to do some things that I couldn't do in iMovie, but that kind of got the ball rolling with the iMovie program. The other thing prior to that, I've always kind of been interested in photography. I almost took a photography class in high school. Unfortunately, the class was full and I wasn't able to get into it. But photography was always something that I've been interested in. I've always wanted to get a decent camera. At the time, I wasn't really considering video or, you know, any kind of professional anything. But that seems to be the direction I'm heading in now with all these videos and YouTube and various things on my website. So with that being said, when I got the iMovie program, I went out and purchased a GoPro Hero 3, which is one of these, little action cam. Pretty much everybody out there knows, you know, is familiar with GoPro. I started with that. I originally bought the GoPro for like a dash cam, and I still use it as that, like on long trips or something like that. I'll put it in the window and just let it loop record. And after so many, I think it's so many hours, I think it's 3 hours or something like that, it'll basically rewrite over itself and just keep recording. I have used the GoPro with the underwater waterproof box, and that was, let's see, what was the name of that video? I think it's a Florida Springs or Florida Freshwater Springs or Snorkeling in the Springs video. I can't remember the title now. The limitation that I found with the GoPro is mainly the battery. The battery in the back is so small. If you've ever had the battery out, it's actually smaller, I think, than a 9-volt battery. And the amount of things that you're asking a GoPro to do in the video, or taking video, you're asking a lot of that. It's a mini computer basically, and it'll burn that battery up pretty quick. I don't remember the amount of filming time. It's maybe 20 minutes or something like that. It's not very much. So you end up having to get more batteries, and naturally I kind of moved away from the GoPro. I have it, I use it occasionally, but it's really more convenient now, especially with the capabilities of the iPhone, to just use the iPhone. When I bought the Hero 3, we had, I think we were only up to the iPhone 4 or 4S. And at that time, I think I had the 4S. I was using that. Some of my earlier videos, that's what that's filmed with. There was no video stabilization, not that I'm aware of anyway, in the phone itself. You could do some of that in your post-production, you know, video editing. You could use the program to try to stabilize the video a little bit. As I progressed through that, I found that the audio with the iPhone was subpar. You know, you get a lot of wind noise, you get a lot of background noise. You know, trying to separate that out and clean it up in the editing process was difficult. So that led me to the next progression. Was I heard somebody say some years ago in watching one of their videos that you can have good video and really bad audio, and you can lose your audience. You can have good audio and mediocre video or even bad video, and you'll still retain some of your viewers, or at least an audience of some kind. because a lot of it goes back to the audio. So with that in mind, I transitioned, or didn't really transition, but I added to the filming process what is this? The Rode VideoMic Go, I think is what it's called. It's got the dead cat, or the wind muff, on the outside. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but the Lear suspension system. And then the back is just a little microphone jack. It's the TRS. It's a tip, ring, I forget what the S stands for, but it's basically the pin, you got the tip, and then you got a spacer, and then there's a ring, and then another spacer, and then the base of the ring. That's what plugs into this and then goes into the phone. You had to have an adapter to go from the microphone into the iPhone. But if you go to their website, they've got the adapters. The easiest adapter to use between the Rode product and your iPhone, if you still have the microphone jack, the older phones have that. One of those is the adapter here. See if we can see that okay. There we go. You're going from, this is talking about the TRS. Like I said, I can't remember what the S stands for, but the tip, ring, and whatever that is. This end, the black end, would go into the Rode microphone, and then the other one is a gray end, and I think it even says on here, well, no it doesn't, okay. Anyway, the gray end is what would plug into the iPhone, TRS adapter. So as long as you can go from one to the other, it'll go right into the iPhone, and you're good to go. Now, if you've got one of the newer iPhones, where you're using the lightning port, lightning plug, adapter, whatever. It's just like your charging adapter for your iPhone. So if you go to plug it in, charge it up, or transition between the iPhone and say like USB, the plug would look like that there. Well, if you go to the Apple website, what you're getting is the lightning to TRS adapter, and then this adapter goes to this adapter, goes into the microphone. So it would be, in this case, something like this. So one adapter to another adapter into the phone. And it works just fine. When I considered buying the Rode VideoMic Go, I had actually looked at the shotgun mic, the Rode shotgun mic, Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, or Pro I think it was at the time, and now it's a Pro Plus. And I wasn't real sure if that being a powered mic, if that would work through all these adapters into the iPhone. So I kind of steered away from it. I tried to look online, couldn't find really any reliable source where I felt confident of what I was seeing online was somebody saying, hey, this is what I use, yes it works, I have no issues with it. I couldn't find anything like that. I found a few YouTube channels, a few websites that did seem like they were using that setup, but I just couldn't verify it. And when you're talking $200 or $300 for a microphone, kind of hate to buy the microphone only to find out that the setup's not going to work for you. So that's why I just did the VideoMic Go. It's a good microphone. You get clean audio out of it. It cuts down on the wind. If you're in a, I don't know, 15, 20 mile an hour wind, you're still going to get wind noise through this dead cat, but it's a whole lot better than the wind noise you would get if you didn't have it at all. The one thing that I wasn't sure about that I found with the VideoMic Go is because it's not an amplified mic, the only power it's getting is through the iPhone. So unlike the VideoMic Pro, it's not amplified. So the audio that you're getting when you put it into your editing software, you've got to boost all those levels and bring them up to a sound level that's acceptable for your channel. We used the VideoMic Go for probably a year or so. I forget I purchased the Rode lavalier mics. I can show you the one, I've got it in my pocket here, I'm using it right now. The receiver's on the camera. This is the transmitter, and it just has a cord, stretch the mic up, pin it to your shirt, and then the receiver is on top of the camera. It's a 2-channel transmitting device. It has 2 channels to it. It has a mic gain on it where you can change it from 0 dB, plus 10 dB, or plus 20 dB. And right now I'm using it on the plus 10. and I've turned the decibels down on the camera where there's like a preamp or something on the camera. And when I first got the camera, they were turned all the way up. So I had to bring those down because I was getting noise from the autofocus, and I was getting a lot of air noise and kind of almost a hissing sound. Had to cut that way back, and then I amplified it on the microphone, and it seems like it's reasonable. What I moved away from, or I kind of slowed down on using the lavalier mic, the wireless one, and I went to a wired lavalier mic, which is, see if I can do this, I don't really want to unfold the whole thing, but it's basically just the cord, the microphone, and then the adapter. Like I said, the audio from this little microphone was every bit as good. And everything, all the videos from, well, probably the first of this year at least, January, I guess, December. I got that, I think, just before the Disney trip in December. So all those videos up until now have all been with that little microphone, and it does fine. I had no issues with that. So I've been using that, and I'm going to continue to use that. As a matter of fact, in some cases, I'm probably going to use that the wired lavalier mic with the Canon 80D. I've tested it, being that the camera is close to me. You know, if you're holding the 80D or something, trying to do a vlogging type style, this little microphone does seem like it picks up the autofocus a little bit. So that's something we're going to have to work around. But the phone holder, there's a lot of different versions of this on the market. There's some really cheap ones. There's some that are made by Manfrotto, I think, makes some. There's a whole bunch of different companies out there that make these. And I went with this because this is an all-metal construction. I don't know if it's steel or it might be aluminum. I'm not real sure exactly what it's made out of. It's painted, so it's kind of hard to tell. But it's really simple. It's got two different sized threaded holes on the bottom, so you can mount it on a tripod. You can have it on a selfie stick, whatever you decide you want to use. Basically got a notch. See if we can hold that up where you can see it. There's a notch on this side, and there's a notch on this side, and there's little rubber pads in there to grip your phone. And then this upper portion and a stainless steel threaded bolt inside there. And you just basically turn the top to loosen this or tighten this thing down. Loosen it up, tighten it down. But you basically just slide the phone in, tighten this down. It doesn't have to be super tight. You tighten that down too much and you end up cracking the screen. But you want this phone holder or the phone grip on the opposite side of where the camera is. And that way, you know, whatever selfie stick or whatever tripod you're using, you're holding it on that side. And I just added a cold shoe mount to the top. There's a knob here, and that threaded bolt comes all the way through that knob, and it sticks out just a little bit, enough room that you can attach something else to the top there. And I just put a cold shoe mount on it so I can transition between a microphone, the wireless lav mic, even a LED light. Some of the lighting situations I found, you know, for certain situations that I purchased this to, you know, you can slide that on there however you want. And of course it's not going to go. Well, anyway, you know how it fits on there just like anything else would as far as a cold shoe is concerned. The video might go, same thing. You know, it would just fit on there like that. And it's a decent setup. This phone bracket is made by Gript, G-R-I-P-T. I'm not affiliated with them. This isn't a paid endorsement. It's just a product that I purchased. I really like it. I would strongly recommend that. It's robust. You drop it, it's going to hold up. It's not one of these flimsy deals that are made out of plastic or has springs in it. You know, the spring-loaded deals or any of that. It's quality, and it also has a nylon strap on the one side. So what I do is I'll fit my two fingers in there, take the other finger and kind of grab a hold of the base of it. You don't even need to have a tripod or anything. You got plenty of movement. It's stable. You don't have to be afraid about dropping your phone or any of that. If you keep your phone in your pocket, the average pocket, it's not going to fit. What I found is by having it on the far end, you can just slide it in your pocket, and it basically will just sit in your pocket like that and just let that stick out. And it makes it easy. You just grab it, pull it right out, and you got it. You're ready to go. You plug in the microphone. What I usually do is the wired lavalier mic. I'll stick that in my shirt pocket. And I'll have this in my pants pocket. And I see something I want to video real quick. I'll pull it out, pull the other end of the lav mic out, just plug it in, clip the lav mic on my shirt, and I'm ready to go. Or sometimes I'll even leave that lav mic attached to my shirt and just stuff the corded up or the rounded up cord in my pocket. That way it's right there, it's already clipped on. I don't have to go through all that trouble. And it's almost instant, you know, it's just a matter of turning the phone on. In conjunction with this clip, I originally got the, what is this, Joby, G-O-B-Y, the GorillaPod. It was a little bit much for just the iPhone. You know, it's plenty good for, you need to wrap it around something. Tripod, you know, I think this is the one that Casey Neistat uses for his vlogging style. And I got it with the intention that I was going to get a bigger camera at some point. You know, I slowly transitioned and got all this stuff trying to build up to that so I didn't have to buy it all at one time. But I got this and I found I really didn't use it much. I used it a few times with the GoPro. I've used it once or twice with this. So it's not exactly portable. It's not something that is easy to take to, say, Disney World or someplace like that. It's too big. You want to put it in a bag or something. So I purchased the Manfrotto. You have to forgive me, I don't remember what this is called. It's just a little miniature tripod. Just got the 3 legs, just like that. So you can set it up on a trash can or something at the park or on a wall, even on the ground, and get a quick time lapse. But it's the outside of it is smooth. They've shaved it down so it makes it easy to hold onto. Basically, all you do is you just screw it into the base here. So you got that in the base, you know, makes it easy. This little emblem on the front is actually a push button. You push on that, and that allows you to rotate this around. You know, it's got a decent range of motion. But what I'll do is I'll tend to tilt that back and hold it like this, so it's not, you know, it kind of collapses it a little bit. It's not quite so big and bulky, and hold it by that button just at the base, and you can use that for your video that way. I found that I use this Manfrotto tripod a lot. I did put the Canon 80D on it the other day, and I used it while I was testing out some of the settings on the camera. And the lens on that camera, on the 80D, is just a little bit too much for this. It'll support it, but it's not something I would want to take out and rely on, because the camera is kind of front heavy now with that big lens. I also bought the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. That's the new shotgun mic that they have. It has all the same settings that the wireless lav mic has, the plus 10 dB, the plus 20 dB. It's a good microphone. The idea was it was going to take the place of the wireless lav mic and the wired lav mic. With this particular setup on this camera, with the noise of the autofocus, I don't know that I can do that just yet, because this microphone picks up all that autofocus. As that thing focuses back and forth, you can hear the servo motor and the clicking back and forth. And I don't know that I can edit all that out just yet. So I'm going to kind of play with it and see, you know, see how I do my videos. There's some videos where that's not going to be a problem. There's other videos where it's going to be a big problem. And I just don't want to have to edit all that extra noise out of the video just yet. I guess the last portion of this is the bag. There's the bag that I use. It's got little pouches up here for your SD cards. These are little plastic bags, or waterproof bags for your cell phone. You can take them underwater. It's got 3 compartments inside. It's got a shoulder strap on it. It's just an inexpensive bag that I bought when I got the GoPro. And up until the point of getting the Canon 80D, this bag was plenty. I could get everything I needed in there, and I could take it and go. It was compact, it was small, easy to carry around. I've been experimenting with it, and with the stuff that I have here, and there's a few extra things, small odds and ends. With all that, it's too much. I don't know that I can get all that stuff in this bag. I'm going to probably have to upgrade to a backpack or some other, a bigger bag than what I have. A big bag, you know, something that's capable of carrying the drone and all this stuff. That's going to be a pretty big backpack. So that's the next thing on the drawing board, is a backpack or some sort of a bag for the camera gear, so I can transport all this stuff around. You know, it's contained enough that you just kind of grab it and go. In any case, that's what I use. That's what I've been using. You know, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Comment down below. I'll do my best to answer and get back to you as soon as I'm able to. If you like what I'm doing here, hit the thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe and share the video. and we'll see you all on the next video. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.